So for number 13, they're asking you to solve for x. What they've given you here is what we would call an absolute and a constant equation. We wouldn't really call it that, but honestly, we're just breaking down the parts of the equation, okay? Here you'll see that we have the absolute value, which is going to be the 9 minus 2x, and then we have what we call a constant, and all that is just a number that doesn't have a variable or answer to any type of boundary or rule, like absolute value, okay? So we have our constant, which is just a number, and then we have absolute value, okay? So they're wanting us to solve for x. These are the steps that we're going to use to solve this. I would recommend you pausing the video and writing these down really quickly so that we can just simply go over and look at the work and you can see which step we're on, okay? So our first step is going to be to move the constant. Well, what do you mean? 4 is the constant. We're going to move 4 over to the other side, okay? How do we do that? We always do the opposite in order to remove something from a side. So we want to remove the constant, so it says to add 4. So to do the opposite, we're going to say subtract 4 from both sides, which is going to give us 10, okay? Our second step is going to be to write the positive and negative set of equations. Actually, it's right here. Whenever you're given an absolute value in an equation, that means that it's possible that your answer is going to either be a positive number or a negative number, okay? So what that means is, like, before it was placed within these boundaries, it could have been a positive answer or a negative answer. So we're having to find both to see what it could have been. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of like you're playing mystery novel to see what would have made this answer to come out to be 10, okay? If it was a positive 10, okay, we would have solved it as such, because after this, our third step is going to be to solve for x. So we have our two equations, positive and negative. Now we're just going to solve for x. So when we have positive 10, we're going to work it out as such. And your x is going to equal negative 1/2, okay? How do we get that? Honestly, whenever you're solving with fractions and it doesn't come out as something that's equal, let's say this was a 9 divided by 3, you know, or even let's just say this was a 10. 10 divided by negative 2 would have given us negative 5, but it's not. It's a fraction. Excuse me. We just keep the fractions the same, okay? So we're going to keep this as a 1 over negative 2, which gives us negative 1/2. Same thing over here. When we solve our negative equation, because again, we have 2, because with absolute value, we have to have a positive and a negative set of equations, okay? How do we do that? Just by making whatever your answer is, 1 positive and 1 negative, okay? So that's how I got this positive 10 and negative 10, just from right here. We say, oh, it's absolute value. Let me write 2 equations, one with the positive 10, one with the negative 10. And then let me solve for x, okay? So now we're on the negative 10 equation. When we solve this, when we get to this step here, we're going to have negative 19 because negative 10 minus 9, because again, we have to solve for x. So we're going to get negative 19 divided by negative 2. Instead of actually trying to solve that and getting a mixed number or a decimal, we're just going to simply simplify it by realizing that we have 2 negatives, which makes it a positive 19 over 2. So that's why your answer came out to be what it is, which is going to be x equals negative 1/2 and x equals 19 over 2. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope that makes sense.